Man, I wasn't expecting this shit to be that damn brutal. This might be more brutal than the original Ronin Warriors. This shit is crazy right here. What's up, y'all? We back at it, man, and I just checked out the first episode of the new Ronin Warriors or Samurai Troopers, whatever name you like to go by. But shit, I grew up on Ronin Warriors, so that's what I'm gonna call this shit. But I do like a couple things about this series, man, that they did pretty damn good. So this isn't like a remake as some people thought it was. I know I was one of the people who thought it was a remake, but it seems to be a continuation. It takes place 35 years after the stuff that happened in the original Ronin Warriors series. You know what I'm saying? They even actually pay homage to these guys by speaking of them, saying like, yo, they defeated the Demon Lord in the past. And because of what they did, the world developed their own type of samurai trooper division where they're waiting for, you know what I'm saying, for evil to show up again where they can actually stop these guys. You see, they actually hold these guys up here as heroes. They hold them as heroes. I think that's really dope right here. I'm trying to get a better picture of it right here. Let me see. Like that right there, that shit could be a poster. That shit is a poster right there. You got Ryu of Wildfire. Let's see if I remember all of the names. I probably don't. Ryu of Wildfire, Kento of Hard Rock. Damn, yeah, that's the only names I remember. It's just those two. You know what I'm saying? I know the one guy had like Celestial, was it Celestial Arrow? That might be Demon. That might be Digimon. I know the other guy, he had a technique called Thunderbolt Cut. The Aqua guy was never really a fan of him. I mean, all their armors were dope. Growing up, I had the Arrow guy because I thought he was dope, which is crazy. I can't remember his name. I had Ryu of Wildfire. My brother had the green guy. I can't think of his name. But anyway, the one thing, my one gripe will be about this show is the animation kind of makes it come off kiddie. But then you have shit like this right here. Like, watch this scene right here. You got this guy singing, and look how brutal this shit is. Like, I wasn't expecting this. You got your innocent bystander standing there recording the whole thing on this little iPhone or whatever type of phone he got. For one, like, who the hell does stuff like this? It's sad to say, but I feel like this would really happen in real life where a person, rather than running for their lives, they will take the time out to pull out their phone and record. And look what happened to this guy. Head gone. When I saw that shit, I was like, damn. Hey, this might be a little more raw than the original Ronin Warriors. Now, don't get me wrong. I feel like the original Ronin Warriors had a more gritty look, and that's why I loved it. This one has more of a like kitty look, like a glossy look, and it's made by Sunrise, and you know what I'm saying. That's the same people that do the Gundam anime, so that might be why these people armors have that glossy like look that kind of comes off as kitty. But you just see them going around slaughtering all these innocent people as the main guy is singing music. He's singing music while all this goes on. And you see that they built this little task force, you know, of Ronin warriors, you know what I'm saying, or samurai troopers, whatever name you want to go by, that's fighting off the guys. And they really don't stand a chance against like some of the main powerful enemies that they're facing off against. You see them pretty much, they're getting beat up by this dude right here who's singing. The crazy thing is his armor reminds me of the very first guy we seen them fight in the original Ronin Warriors series. He wasn't like a main bad guy. He just had an armor like that. Matter of fact, his he kind of looked like I think the dude name was Anubis. Kind of looks like him a little bit as well. But anyway, you got this going on. You got them actually like paying homage to the original games all throughout this episode, which I really love. You got this poster right here, which will be another amazing poster they'll have back there on the wall. And then you find out someone else is actually in this show. The girl, the main, I guess the main female character from the original Ronin Warriors. I can't remember her name. It was a crazy name, but she has the jewel. And if I'm not mistaken, I remember Ryu even giving her the jewel at the end of the original, or they were just like running around throughout the city playing baseball with it or tag with it. It's something. One of those two things happened. I need to go back and rewatch it, man. That was my shit. But you have it where we get introduced to the 10 warriors of the new demon general, which I don't think is Topa. I want to say they called him a different name, but this dude armor right here is clean. That dude armor looks dope as hell. This kid, I think he might be real powerful as well. But it seems as if random humans were chosen to be, these 10 warriors to fight on the evil side. Pretty much like the original, I think it was just 5 warriors, 5 or 4 warriors, if I'm not mistaken. And then you got it where the guy who's in the armor from the beginning that slit, like took that guy head off. This is him. He woken up. He's recovering. That's that girl right there in the background. If you can see my mouse, that's the girl from the original series, 35 years later, which means she's got to be like 40 or 50 something right now, which really makes me wonder what happened to the original cast. Like, where did they go? Will we see them eventually? Did they potentially become the enemies? So many questions I need answers to. But again, you have it where they come after this guy to try to finish him off. And you have another brutal scene where the guy who's supposed to be Wildfire, he comes to this location where the I guess what do you call them, the samurai troopers are. You got them where you find out these guys are pretty much frauds. They did it for the money. They don't really care about being, troopers or warriors, whichever name you want to go by, except for this kid right here. He seems to be the only one who actually wants to, do something noble, do something good, and be a hero. But you have it where that the guy who was a bad guy, who still seems to be a bad guy, he comes there and he starts killing these guys. Like, he's evil. I was thinking maybe he was under some type of mind control, because that's how they kind of made it come off. But nah, he appears to be evil. You got it where he shows up and he starts wiping these dudes out left and right. I mean, like, this shit is really brutal. Like, look at this shit right here, man. Look, hold on, let me show you guys. Like, you think he's saving this guy right here, the one who actually wants to be a hero. You think he getting saved. You find out he's doing all that just to get to some food. And then you have this scene where he starts looking up, the kid starts looking around. He starts looking around, and you start to notice, I'm trying to get to the scene, where he's looking around like, oh shit, this dude isn't a good guy. He's not a good guy. But as he sees the food, he looks around, and he's like, yo, that's crazy. You can help us. And then he starts to notice the arms of his teammates. Granted, his teammates left him there for dead, but I still imagine he wasn't wishing that on them. But you see their arms all sliced off, and you have it where the guy who we think is going to be Ryu of Wildfire walks up saying like, oh, you're one of those super troopers as well. I guess I'll take you out as well. And that's how the episode ends. But of course you could tell by the ending right here, which I feel like they shouldn't have gave us an outro. You could tell that he's going to eventually become an ally at some point in time. But at the same time, like, you're going to accept this dude as an ally and he wiped out all these innocent lives, all these innocent people? Or maybe this could be his redemption, trying to redeem himself for what he actually done. So we've seen this character in action. We've seen, which he's not too much to brag about. We've seen him in action as well. We've seen him, but he didn't really do anything. But there was a moment in the episode where this guy, when he was still wearing his evil armor, saw him and chose not to attack him. I don't believe we saw him at all. But looking at all this, I pretty much can guess who's going to be who. Wildfire, Aqua Kid, Arrow Guy, Lightning Bolt, Hard Rock. I'm pretty much sure that's how it's going to be. And I think they actually showed it. Yeah, they showed it as they went off. But all in all, man, for a first episode, I thought this shit was pretty damn raw. I wasn't expecting this shit to be brutal like this. Like, man. But I hope she actually gives us information and context on what happened to the remaining warriors. Seeing how she's still alive and they all were around the same age. If anything, I would say they were younger than her. They should be around somewhere too. Maybe even they became an enemy. Who knows? But let me know y'all thoughts on this first episode, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace. Damn, I wasn't expecting this shit to be this dark. This shit was so crazy. Oh, man, I can't believe he did it. I can't believe he did it. We got to talk about this episode, man. Armor of wildfire! Down! What's up, y'all? We back at it with another episode of Samurai Troopers, episode 2. Damn, this episode was pretty good. Now, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of the animation style because it just looks really, I guess, glossy. Like, I'm not a fan of when animes do that. Maybe when Gundam does it, and I know it's made by the same people who make Gundam, animated by the same people who make Gundam. And I could rock with it for Gundam because it's metal, but I'm really not a fan of the glossy, like, look. But the overall show and story, I'm really feeling it. It's pretty damn dark. Like, this dude, what's his name, Kaito? Man. I don't know if I could have did what this man did in this episode. Like, this was some ruthless stuff. I was not expecting this. The fact that we find out, who was the lady with him laying on the ground, it turned out to be his grandma. And, how he pretty much want revenge for how his grandma, was taken out. And his grandma pretty much wanted him to pursue a career, knew he wanted to pursue a career of being a trooper. And then you get to the moment later in this episode where, damn, that shit was dark. I was not expecting it to go this damn dark, man. And the fact that he's wearing the armor of one of my favorite characters growing up, like, for me, it was either Ryu of Wildfire or Ronin of the Stratus. For some odd reason, I kept going back and forth between which character was my favorite. I love when, your boy Rowan would shoot the arrow and it would turn to multiple arrows. I thought that was dope. And then Ryu was the main character. That Ronin of Wildfire, Dao G. Like, yo, that shit was that stuff, man. Like, I really, rock with Ryu as well. Ryu, whichever name you want to call him, especially when he got the armor of Inferno. Damn. But a lot of y'all pointed out that we don't got White Blaze. Maybe White Blaze will return, as well as Black Blaze. He comes later on when Ryu gets the armor of Inferno. So they haven't showed up as well. But watching this show really is taking me back to my childhood, man. Just like back in the day, like, it wasn't until I started looking at the trailer for this episode and someone told me in the comments, like, growing up, me and my friends, we used to think Anubis said, wake with fear, like, and we thought that was like one of the toughest lines in anime history at this time. Well, we didn't know it was anime, but we was just like, yo, damn, that shit was just so tough. Wake with fear. And it wasn't until I did a reaction video to the trailer, late last year, that someone was like, yo, he actually says quake with fear. And I'm like, what? I hit up my boys, they don't watch anime and stuff no more, but I'm telling them, like, no way, man. I'm like, yo, it's Quake with Fear, man. Go watch it on sub, and that's what you're going to say. But for some odd reason, it always sounded like they were saying wake when we watched it on, the English dub. At least that's just how it came off to us. But yeah, it's Quake with Fear. Who knew? But anyway, this episode right here, we have it where, they're pretty much turning innocent civilians or people who died. Once you die, you get turned to these puppets. We have it where Kaito, as well as Gay, that's how you pronounce the guy name. I went to look it up. That's how you pronounce it. You got him facing off against, these puppets as well. And you also got Oda's there. And you have it where we actually find out in this episode, as you can see Oda right here on the screen, he's a little older than everyone else. All the other warriors or troopers, you want to call them, all of them are around the age of 14, which is, I guess, the prime age to use this power, to utilize this power. And I guess the older you get, or at least this how it's coming off here, the older you get, the more of a strain that power is on your body, because you have it where we see moments throughout this episode where your boy Oda is in pain because he used this power, but he's in situations where he has to use it. So one or two things are going to happen to this guy. If you pay attention to the opening of this series, he's not the one wearing the green armor, the armor of Halo. So either he's going to get taken out and die, or it's going to be a situation where they do find the right person. They hand over the armor to that person, and then Oda kind of like sits there at the command center and give them orders and training and stuff like that. Those are the two things that could potentially happen with the Oda character. You guys let me know which way y'all think it's going to go. As dark as this series has been, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually take him out. I love how this series is like just really ruthless. Now, the original series was really good. I still would say the original, as of right now, is better. I don't got too many episodes to compare it to, but I would say the original series is better. But one thing I will say that this one is doing better is showing how ruthless the series can be. Like, this shit is not for kids. This shit is not for kids, despite how it may look in some scenes. But you have it where this guy right here, this character right here, is actually the one who took out the granny of, of Kaito. We thought it was a Guy or Gay, or however you want to pronounce his name. I'm gonna just call him Guy. We thought it was Guy, but it turned out it wasn't him. Guy actually spared Kaito because he's seen this. The granny was pierced by one of the weapons of this guy right here, one of the 10 Braves, and because he seen it, he was like, "Yo, it rubbed him the wrong way," so he just kept it moving. But to us as the viewers, it seemed like Guy was the one who finished off Kaito's grandma. But then you have it where Kaito grandma is brought back to life to this guy because he turned her into a monster. So as you can see her right here, you see her with the tears in her eyes, man. Like, this shit was, this was crazy. It was to the point where Kaito didn't want to work with Guy at all because he believed Guy was behind his mother's, his grandmother's death. And then you have it where Kaito doesn't have the strength, the will to actually take out his grandma. And he looks at Guy and says, like, "Yo, please, you know what I'm saying? I'll join your team. I'll join your crusade. Just take her out." And Guy's like, "Nah, man. Like, this is your battle. This is your fight. You do it. If you want her gone, you do it." And some people may look at it as Guy being a horrible person, but he didn't want to be the person to take out Kaito's grandmother because Kaito would always look at him as the person who finished his grandma off, and he might hold some type of grudge. He's telling Kaito to do it himself because Kaito should be the one to set her free. It's his grandmother. And I'm not going to lie, this scene was it was really hard to watch because you had her approaching innocent victims on a plane, you know what I'm saying? I mean, on a bus. You had her approaching them, and you have it where, he's pretty much begging. Like, he's like, "Yo, please, I can't do it. Take her out." He's like, "Nah, man, I could never. You do it." And you could also say that Guy was probably didn't want to do it as well because of how bad he felt about the situation. But you have it where, you know what I'm saying, Kaito actually summons his weapon. He fires it off, and man, damn, this shit right here, like, gosh, hit her right in the head. Yo, like I said, he got the darkest story right now, and I don't think anyone else's story can beat this. He had to take out his own grandmother. Now, one could say it's not really her because she was turned to a monster, but I like to look at it different, man. Like, yo, that was her. He set her free, and then you have this moment right here where, I mean, it was very touching, but at the same time, I still feel like that pain is just crazy. But you have it where her spirit appears in front of Kaito. You have this moment where she says, "That's better. You set me free. You set me free. I see that you're wearing the armor. This is what you always wanted to be. This is your destiny. This is what you meant to be." She's pretty much giving him words of encouragement, and she's telling him like, "Yo, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and forge ahead. Don't worry about me. I'll still be here with you. I'll be watching over you this whole time." You have that right there. You have this moment where she's able to say her goodbyes to him. But it still was such a sad moment in the series, if you ask me, man. Like, this was tough. And I don't know, man. I wasn't expecting it to be like that. But then you have it also in this episode, which was another amazing moment where, you know what I'm saying, your boy, I was about to call him Ryu, but you have it where Guy, he actually summons his armor. He starts fighting against, you know what I'm saying, these puppets. And then you also have it where he also puts on the armor of wildfire, which was very, very amazing to see. This shit gave me some old school vibes right here. Armor of wildfire. Dow G. I don't know why, man. I don't know why. It just took me back to that moment, man. But let me know y'all thoughts on this one right here, man. On this episode. How do y'all feel about it? Do you feel like it's just as good as the first episode? Are you liking what you're seeing from the series so far? Curious to hear y'all thoughts, man. And I'll catch you guys in the next one, y'all. Peace. Hey, know how to do it every time. I was at the crib yelling Kento of Hard Rock, Dow G. Like, yo, oh my gosh, this shit just look credible right here. It takes you back to the old days. It take you back.
Armor of wildfire! Down!
What's up, y'all? We just got the latest episode of Ronin Warriors or Samurai Troopers, whatever name you want to go by, but we got episode 3 and we're going to talk about it. Now, I will say I do have one gripe to pick about when it comes to this show, and that's just the CGI. I'm not the biggest fan of CGI. I've seen it been done in good ways, but for the most part, I'm not a fan of the CGI whenever they use their armor. I wish it was animated like the rest of the series was. But other than that, I'm kind of enjoying it. I love the fact that our troopers have personality and they're not just like, oh, the enemy's here, let's go fight, and that's all there is to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, one could say that's how the original was, even though I love the original. You really didn't get too much with the characters' background and backstory and how they came to be, as opposed to this series where you're finding out more about them, so you're able to build that attachment to the characters. So I will say that. Now, I gotta point out something that I don't know if other people notice, and if you have, you can let me know in the comments section when it comes to this series right here. If you're looking at the screen right here, I think, hopefully, let me put the mouse on the screen, hopefully, so you guys can see. I think this guy right here is Ryu of Wildfire. I could be wrong, but I think this is Ryu of Wildfire because you have it where you have a kid version of Yama as well as a kid version of Musa. You have them as kids, and you have this stranger who comes and feed them and give them food and give them words of encouragement. And I don't know about y'all, I just really feel like this is Ryu of Wildfire. Just because he's wearing the red sweater, his hair kind of looks like the same from what we can see. He got the little chin hair, so he's a little bit older. I just think that's Ryu of Wildfire. Not only that, he gave these kids words of encouragement that would later become the key to, you know what I'm saying, Yama becoming one of the troopers. So I really feel like that was Ryu of Wildfire. You guys can let me know in the comment section below, but that's just how I feel. You pretty much have it where these two grew up together. They're not real brothers, but they're brothers just because the struggles they've been through. It seems as if they both were taken to an orphanage. They run away from this orphanage because the person who runs it seems to be an abuser, and they run into this stranger who gives them food and gives them words of encouragement. Like I said, I truly believe this is Ryu of Wildfire, just on how he gave them the encouragement to become the troopers. Now you have it where our guys, they start to train in this virtual reality world, which kind of made me have flashbacks of VR Troopers. If you know, you know. That was my shit growing up. But it gave me memories of flashbacks of VR Troopers. And then you have it where a situation goes down. We have our warriors coming to face off against this threat. They put on their armor. Now, one thing I will point out about this series, where I like they actually did it with the character named Guy. So, you know, you have it where the other troopers don't really mess with him or trust him too much because he took out innocent lives in the first episode. And I was wondering if they were ever going to go back to that, because I was surprised that they would accept him to join their team given what he did in the past. And then you have it where Oda, the one wearing the green armor, he says something that made a lot of sense. And I was just like, damn, he has a point, but I don't know if I would still be able to fully trust him. But Oda goes to say, like, yo, you know, he's from the demon world, you know, and the way he was raised was not to really care about taking someone's life. That's just what they did on a day-to-day basis, similar to how you guys eat and the stuff y'all do every day. That's how he was raised. So he's not entirely at fault. He doesn't know any better. He only knows the ways he was taught. But maybe throughout time, we can help him repent for, you know, the wrong that he has done. And I was thinking like, yo, damn, I didn't even take the time to, you know, look at it in that manner. And shout out to the older character, the fact that he was able to break that down, and you have it where some of the other troopers are looking like, yo, damn, that's crazy. I didn't see it that way. You even have the one named Yama saying like, yo, well, I'll start teaching you the decent ways of our world so that you can make repentance for, you know, the crimes that you have committed. And you have it where they go into this battle. Now, the one that's named Yama, he's having trouble reaching his power, his potential. And you have it where he thinks of those words that he was given by that guy that I'm assuming is Ryu of Wildfire. you have that actually go down. And then he eventually transformed. I'm not gonna lie. I wish they would have did it for the other characters as well. But in order for him to transform, you had it where Guy pretended to be a traitor, and he started fighting Musa, beating the crap out of Musa, stomping on him right here in this panel right here. So I ain't gonna lie, I thought this was a dope moment right here. But you have it where he does that to help your boy realize his potential and transform. He thinks about the words that he was given by the Ryu of Wildfire. I'm gonna just keep calling him that until we actually see that it isn't Ryu. I still think it is. I think he might make an appearance at some point in time, and come to, come to help in some type of way. Maybe even train these guys. He might even be, well, I don't know. I just think it's Ryu. I was going to think of some other characters like maybe Anubis, but if I'm not mistaken, I haven't seen it in a while, but I think Anubis got taken out. But this right here is something I wish they would have did for all the characters in this episode. But I guess each episode we're probably going to see a different person do it. Last week episode was the wildfire armor. This week was the hard rock armor. Of course, they're calling it different names in this series. His armor was called the Wilderness, which I'm not the biggest fan. Hard rock just sounds better. But I'm not going to lie to y'all, seeing this part right here. Oh, man. That shit took me back, man. That shit took me back to childhood. I don't know, man. And the crazy thing is, Kento of Hard Rock, I wasn't the biggest fan of Kento of Hard Rock, but whenever it was time to get to business, Kento was always ready to throw hands. But you have it with the armor. I like the way the armor is like this golden rock forming around him. I think this shit was dope as hell. And I love the way they put the helmets on in this one. I can't remember. Maybe I need to go back and watch the transformations. If they did the helmets the same way in the original series. If they did, let me know in the comment section. But I probably end up checking it out after this video. But yeah, the way he formed his helmet and puts it on like with all the rocks. And then just put the helmet on. I'm like, yo, damn. That shit look clean. And then this time with this armor, he has a battle axe as opposed to, he has somewhat like a staff, like a lance. His weapon seems to be different, as well as his brother Musa. His weapon is different as well because he has like a mini dagger, and in the original series he had like a lance. But anyway, you have it where they fight against this demon. Him and I was about to call him Ryu, but him and Guy do like this attack where they pretty much slash right through their opponent and take them down. It was a pretty dope combo move that they did. But like I said, I would like it better if it was more so animated and not CGI. I feel like it takes away from the armor, if you ask me. But you guys can let me know how y'all feel about this, man. How do y'all feel about the armor, the CGI part of it? And outside of that, like take that part out of it, how do you feel about the overall series? Let me know down below. And if you like this video, thumb it up, please subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. Peace. Bruh, when I seen this shit, only thing that played in my mind was Ronin of the Strata, Dao G. Yo, this shit was so damn goated. It seems like we're going to get one person per episode, but I hope we get to the point where we have everyone doing it at the same time, like back to back. Now, I know I found that annoying in the original series, but that's because they did it every episode. But if they do it once in a while, I'm down for it. But this shit was so damn clean, yo. Hey, yo, who did it the best so far? Was it him, Hard Rock, or Wildfire? Which one you like the best? And I just love the fact that they make the helmet form on their face a different way based on their element. And this shit is just goated, man. This shit is goated. But hey, yo, we got to talk about the latest episode. Love the bow on the back, yo. This shit look crazy. Even if it is CGI, I still really rock with this. But yo, we got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. What's up, y'all? We back at it with another episode of Samurai Troopers, episode 4, man. Hey, look, I really like this episode just because how amped it has me for the future of this series. Now, a lot of you guys, hold up. man, make sure you like the video, man. Thumb this shit up. But a lot of you guys were saying in my previous videos that you think one of the previous Ronin warriors may turn out to be the actual boss that they're facing off against in this new series, in this sequel. And at first I was like, I don't know about that. But after what we got in this episode, I'm thinking some of you guys might be right. That might be the case. Now, of course, I don't think Ryu of Wildfire is one of these people, because we seen him in the previous episode. It seems as if he made it back to the human world. But as far as the people know in this universe, the Ronin warriors went to stop an event that happened 5 years ago prior to this, this series right here that's going on right now. But 5 years ago, they went to go stop an event. They went to the demon realm and they never returned. And we know we seen Ryu in the previous episode, so somehow he made it back, but he didn't make it known to the public that he returned. And we don't know what happened to the other warriors. So there's a chance that some of them may have been killed off. Some of them, one of them may have turned to the new demon lord. We don't know, but I love the fact that they put that idea in the air and they got everyone talking. Like, yo, everyone's speculating. At least I am right now. Like, yo, maybe one of them did turn out to be the warrior enemy. And if that's the case, damn, who do you think it is, man? I don't know, man. I don't want it to be well, I know it ain't Ryu of Wildfire, but I don't want it to be Kento of Hard Rock. I don't want it to be you know what I'm saying, the Arrow guy. For real, Sai the Torrent is the only one I would be okay with, because I was never a big fan of him in the original series. He was my least favorite. Not to say he didn't have some good moments, but he was my least favorite out the original Ronin Warrior series. Now, I will say the Torrent armor that they have right now, that got kind of dope. The fact that he could jump on his board like a surfboard and, swerve past his opponents and take them down, kind of dope. I think it was cool. It caught me off guard this episode. It's kind of cool. But yeah, man, the fact that they went down there and they never returned really got me intrigued for the future of this series. Not only that, we find out that, Ryu, as well as this new guy, I believe his name is Ishida. We get him at the beginning of this episode. He made his own armor. That shows you how talented he is. But we find out that these two were part of a team that went to actually try to find out what happened to the original Ronin warriors. Like, they went there. I want to say the Ronin warriors was gone for 5 years. And I want to say 2 years after that, they had a mission where they went there, him and his crew, and it was like 3 other Ronin warriors, samurai troopers. They all went, and it seems as if these were the only 2 to survive. You know what I'm saying? Ryu survived, as well as this Ishida character. They were the only 2 to survive, and you have it where this Ishida dude, he kind of holds it against Ryu. He pretty much says like, yo, I would have never abandoned my comrades, but you did just that, because you have it where they're in a situation where they're forced to retreat. And you know what I'm saying, Ryu or Oda, whichever name you want to go by. Oda's his last name, Ryu is his first name. You got it where they grab him. Ryu grabs Ishida and escape, and he left the other ones for dead. They might even show up at some point. They might even return and want some type of payback. But you got it where he never forgave him for that. And eventually he finds out the truth that, old boy got poisoned. Ryu got poisoned. Now, I know a lot of us, including myself, was thinking the reason he was having trouble with his suit was because he was too old. But it seems as if he got poisoned in that event that took place 3 years ago, when they tried to go find the original warriors. And because of that, he's suffering. He's slowly dying from this poison. And you have it where a guy says the only way to get rid of this poison is to eliminate the person who cursed him, the person who cursed him in the first place. It might be one of the 10 warriors that's demon warriors. It might be one of them, or it might be someone else. We just don't know yet. And we have it where they pretty much come up with the conclusion. Yama says it like, yo, well, we'll just wipe them all out, and eventually one of them will lead to, Ryu being, free from this curse. But you have it where the warriors are training, and they actually show their concern that they have for their fellow comrade, that they have for Ryu. I'll be mixing up the names. I want to say Ryu of Wildfire, but it's Ryu. But you have it where they tell Ryu like, yo, if you can beat us in a match, we'll allow you to continue to fight as a warrior, as a samurai trooper. But if you lose, you're going to have to sit out these battles. and you have it where he actually does lose, and they actually did it to protect him, but they did it in a way to make it seem fair. We have it where this Ishido guy finds out the truth that you know what I'm saying, Ryu was actually poisoned, and because of that, he feels bad. He feels like, yo, it's partially his fault. He doesn't want to lose to him. Like, I guess in this like friendly rivalry that they have, and you have it where it's a situation where they go to face off against the opponents. You know what I'm saying? Face off against the opponents to try to, you know, get revenge for what happened 3 years ago. And you also find out that this Ishida guy, he has one of the three ancient, you know what I'm saying, relics, which is I think it was the Sword of Domination, if I'm not mistaken. You have it where this lady here, she has the little heart charm that we seen her use to find out that Guy was one of the chosen ones. But you have all that going on as they battle, and then you have it where towards the end of the battle, they all start working together. They start showing their skills, what new moves they learn. And that's what I kind of like about this series is the personality that we're getting with each character, how they don't feel one-dimensional, how they're not like, yo, we must defeat the bad guy and that's it. No, we're going to tell you a little bit of our backstory. We're going to tell you our fears, our wants, our, you know what I'm saying, our goals, our desires. I really love that about this new series. Despite how I feel about the CGI, I am a big fan about how different the characters feel. And in this episode, we actually get your boy Kenta to do what's his name, Kenta? I don't know why I want to call him Kenta, but Kaito. We get him to do his transformation in this episode. So it seems as if every episode we're going to get that one person who does a transformation. But I'm not going to lie, I hope we get to the point where it's an episode where they show every character do it. Now, I know back in the day that it was kind of annoying because they did it too much. But if we get it at least once, I would be okay with that. I would be okay with that. But we have it where the episode ends where the main bad guy, the father of Guy, shows up. And as he shows up, you have it where it ends where Ryu is pretty much about to, not Ryu, I'm getting the names mixed up, but we have it where Guy is about to face off against his father. Now, I'm not going to lie, when his father came out right here, I thought he was on top of White Blaze. I know it's too long, White Blaze probably dead and gone, but that's who I thought it was at this moment. When we see him come out the port, I'm like, oh, shit. But no, it's some type of, I guess, demon, horse, creature. It's not a tiger at all, but yeah, you can see the body of it. It might even be the body of White Blaze and turned evil, so that could lead us to believe that could go with you know, one of the warriors turning bad from the past. But all in all, amazing episode. Enjoyed it from start to finish. I'm very curious how y'all feel about this episode. Let me know down below. Also, we get it where they able to unleash new moves as well. We got you got a guy right here unleashing some new move. I was just ready for him to say, what is this? Swords of Wildfire, flare up. Now I wanted to see that so bad, but I mean, he did some type of move right here. I don't think it's his final finishing move, but it is a new move. And apparently all the characters got a new move, but we just seen guys in this current episode. But again, let me know your thoughts on this one down below. And if you like the video, thumb it up, please subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll catch y'all in the next one, man. Peace. Nah, what are they doing? There's no way they going this way with this. Hey, we got to talk about it.
Armor of wildfire! Down, Shin!
What's up, y'all? We back at it with the latest episode of Samurai Troopers, man, episode 5. And this is one of those episodes where I feel like it's going to really divide the community. You're going to be some people that rock with what just happened in this episode, and then you're going to have some people that's going to be upset with what happened in this episode. Me, myself, I'm kind of in the middle. I don't really know how to feel because I do think this is the best episode we've gotten outside of the CGI. I wish they would just do away with it. All all the parts without CGI was amazing, and I wish, you know what I'm saying, they would have just stuck with that type of animation throughout the whole episode. But I get it. They're trying to save costs. They don't know how people are going to perceive this, this sequel. So they were playing it safe and trying to save as much money as possible. That's the reason why we got CGI in some of the armor moments. But I'm kind of in the middle when it comes to this episode. Like, I understand why some people are going to be upset with what they did with Ryu of Wildfire's armor. I keep mixing these two guys' names up, so I'm gonna just start calling the guy in the green armor by his last name, which is Oda, and then Ryu of Wildfire just be Ryu of Wildfire. But that's him on the screen in case you don't know. But I can see how some people are going to be upset. They're going to be like, yo, they tarnished his name. He was a great hero. He did this, he did that. Like, why would they go out and turn around and do what they did to him at the end of this episode? I get it. I completely get it. But I'm going to explain why I think it may work in just a bit. And then I know there's going to be people who like it because we actually seen a trooper. They got axed in this episode. Now, I suspected it could happen. I've said it in my earlier episode reviews. I was like, yo, there's got to be something that's going to happen in order for the guy with the long hair to get the green armor. You know what I'm saying? The armor of Halo. And something's going to happen. And it happened in this episode. I just didn't think they would go through with it to this extent. I thought it might have been, like, it was a small part of me that was like, yo, they might finish him off. Then there was a bigger part of me saying, like, he's just probably going to sit on the sidelines because of his disease. And then he's going to just, like, give the armor away to, what's the guy named? Shion? I just figured that's what was going to happen. But nah, this dude got wiped out. It's crazy. And then the way he got wiped out, it was like through some trickery where the warriors, the troopers thought they were saving their ally. They thought they were saving their friend. And then you have it where, no, because of what they did, that's why he's going to die. And, oh, man, that was crazy. But we have a little flashback where we got Oda. He's in front of Ryu of Wildfire. And Ryu of Wildfire told him he's going to be the next leader of the troopers. And he puts the crest on his armor the same way he had the crest on his Wildfire armor, and I thought that was a nice moment. I really rocked with that. I thought that was pretty dope. You get to see it right here. And it's crazy because with him putting the crest on him, it seems as if Ryu of Wildfire knew about them making this new armor to try to fight against the demon lords should they reappear. So he was behind it and working with them behind the scenes. And I'm curious to know, after what we find out at the end of the episode, what was the girl named Mia, the new girl that's in charge of this organization? I'm really curious about her as well. I'm gonna talk about that as we get further into this episode. Matter of fact, fuck that. Hey, look, man, we might as well just talk about it now. So at the end of this episode, we find out that the main honcho is Ryu of Wildfire. He's the one wearing the armor that looks like Tappa, for whatever the case may be. A lot of people are probably going to be upset with this episode, like I just said. But I wonder if Mia is the mother of Guy, and she just doesn't know that's her son. Because you gotta admit what we got in the information for last week episode. They saying like, yo, prior to what's going on currently in time, current events, 5 years prior, the Ronin warriors went through the demon gate to stop an evil threat. They never came back. And then 3 years, ago, that's when you had Oda and his group go to try to see what happened to him, and that's when he got poisoned, and he's been poisoned for the past 3 years. So I wonder if the reason why Ryu and the rest of the Ronin warriors went there is because his son, which is the child of his and the Mia girl, I believe her name is Maya, one of those, was taken into the demon world, which caused the other Ronin warriors to go. They weren't going to let their boy Ryu go by himself, so they went with him and they never returned. I wonder if that's the case. And in this episode, you have it where Ryu, as he's evil, he displays his ability, one of his new powers now that he's a demon lord right here. This is him in the armor. Yeah, this is him in the armor. He displays one of his abilities where he's able to turn people evil. He's able to hypnotize them and turn them into enemies. You have it where he does it at the beginning of this episode, and you have all the Ronin warriors attacking your boy Guy. They're all, like, if you look right here, you see them all attacking Guy, and that's due to the power of Ryu of Wildfire. He's able to corrupt them and control them. You see that he's able to do that. So what if someone else actually did that to Ryu of Wildfire, led him to believe that he's the big baddie, he's the bad guy, he's going to do all this for all these past 5 years, allow him to believe that he's really the head honcho, and then you're going to have it where he's actually freed, and once he gets free, we'll find out who the true villain is. Now, that's the way I think it's going to go, and if it does turn out to go that way, I would be okay with him being dark for, he only been evil for what, about 5 years, maybe less than that, because we don't know how long it took once they went into the gates for him to be corrupted. So if that turns out to be the case, I'm down with it. Now, if it turned out, he just went in there and turned evil on his own accord for whatever reason, then I might be a little, I don't know the way I don't know if I like the way this is going type of scenario. But yeah, you have it where because of his actions, he tricked them into actually finishing off, your boy Oda. You have it where all of them pretty much are using their new sacred arts. I think their sacred arts are pretty dope. If I had to pick my favorite, I would probably, and I don't know, Musa, I would say his is probably the dopest, because he was able to freeze his opponent. You had it where Yamata, he made like a earth statue come from the ground. Of course, what's the guy, Kaito, he shot like a hurricane, and Guy did some type of flame tornado. His looked dope as well. You know what? I'd probably give it to Guy because his art was pretty dope. But anyway, you got it where all of these guys work together to take down Oda as he turned into a monster. We find out that the one who cursed him was Ryu of Wildfire 3 years ago, and he's been walking around with that burden. And apparently it's not a demon-made curse, it's a human-made curse, as he states. And then they use that to actually slice him down, thinking they will help and heal him. And you have this moment right here where he's actually on the verge of death. He's actually dying, and then he gives the crest to Guy, saying like, yo, you've inherited the flames. And it was, oh man, this was a crazy moment right here, because you have it as he's about to die. He looks at, Shino, and tells him like, yo, you're the leader of the troopers now. And you have it where he disappears. And that was crazy. Was not expecting them to go with the death of one of the troopers. Like, yo, this was something unexpected, man. Like I said, I knew they were going to find a way to take him out, but I thought it would be more so him in the background, like just becoming like the sensei, and giving them the orders and stuff like that. But you even have it in this episode where he tells them like, yo, you guys have done good on your getting to this point. You no longer need to follow me. You know what I'm saying? You no longer need me to lead you. And it's just like, damn, they really going to kill this dude off? And you got it where like he tells him like, you have a samurai's heart. This I just didn't see it coming. Let me know in the comment section. Did you think they would go this route? Like I said, it was a little part of me that thought that, but overall, just with how the series felt for the most part, I was like, they're not going to kill him off. They're not going to do it. And then to see that they actually did it, oh man, I didn't see it coming. And then you have it where Guy, he gets pissed. He says, I like that he says the line, humans are interesting. Like, you see that he's becoming more and more, fascinated with humans and how we are. And since he is the son, or at least they're saying he's the son of this demon king, which is supposedly Ryu of Wildfire, maybe, you know what? I ain't gonna get into it. I ain't gonna give away all my thoughts of where I think it's gonna go. But you got it where he gets mad. He goes to confront his father. His father shoots like a blast. You got him running at it. And like, these scenes are amazing, but they would be so much better if it wasn't CGI. That's all I got to say. And now, like I said, I'm glad they decided to, give us this series. So I can't complain completely. But as you can see, this is Ryu. Well, not I'm about to call him Ryu, but a guy doing his sacred art. And I want to say this is the second one we've seen him do. He did another one in the previous episode, if I'm not mistaken. But you got it where he's doing blade slash, and he's doing it with that sword. What do they call it? A domination sword, if I'm not mistaken. But you see he does it with that sword. he's clashing with his father, and you got it where he's actually able. Oh, that scene right there, just beautiful though. Even though it's CGI, this part right here, actually, I feel like this part isn't CGI, but this right here, the scene right here, with the flame trails behind the feet, that shit took me back. That shit took me back. But then you have it where the mask right here crack on, you know what I'm saying? The mask right here cracks, and you see the face of the guy. And that's when we find out. That's when we find out. Ryu of Wildfire. And then his eyes look different too. Like they got like a red like flower to them. And so that's why I kind of feel like it might be him under a spell. Or there might be a reason to his madness. We just got to hear it out. Maybe we'll find out in the next episode. I need that next episode right now. But this episode was goated. But let me know your thoughts on this one down below, man. We'll talk about it later. Oh my gosh, man. Yeah. Let me know your thoughts. I gotta hear it. Peace. Man, why they start the episode like this, man? Why they know what they doing, man? We got to talk about this shit.
Armor of wildfire! Down!
What's up, y'all? We got to talk about the latest episode we just got of Samurai Troopers, man. Hey, look, this is by far the best episode of this series, man. Like, yo, there were moments where I was like, just excited. Then there was moments where I was sad. Like, yo, this episode kind of had me a little emotional on some parts, man. And then they knew exactly what they were doing with this part right here. The fact that they chose to start the episode out with original content from the original anime. Oh my gosh, that was such a nice touch. Like this shit. It took me back, man. It took me back to my childhood, yo. I was just thinking about that summer when this shit came out, watching all of this go down, man. Just seeing this for the very first time. Like, yo, seeing everybody in their armor. You got your boy Kento, you got Ronin, you got all of these guys out here about to fight, about to go in. And this was just, oh, man, what a episode, man. I cannot praise this episode enough. I feel like they did the damn thing, man. And then, like, it's crazy how this was an episode right here where they didn't overuse the CGI and it turned out to be the best episode. I hope they go this route with the rest of the remaining episodes. And even the parts with the little bit of CGI, it wasn't even that bad. Like they even show us Ryu in his armor. Like, yo, this part right here. Oh, yo, this shit. Oh, hey, yo, this took me back because I seen it before it was on Toonami. So it took me back to like, I think it was like UPN back in the day. When it came on UPN, it was like 2:30 in the afternoon. It took me back to those days. But then seeing this part right here took me to the Toonami days when, you know how Toonami had like those special edit commercials? Damn. Hey, yo, they did the damn thing with this one, man. Oh my gosh, yo. They did the damn thing with this episode. And then just having this little flashback within the episode where you see your boy, you know what I'm saying, Ryu beating up Oda as well as, what's his name? Shion, beating both of them up. You seeing how they were training to become samurai troopers. And then you have it where he's forced to go off on a mission. And when they go off on the mission, matter of fact, keep in mind, though, I want you all to pay attention to this right here. A lot of y'all might not catch this right here. Let me see. You got it where the way they're both laying down on the ground. Pay attention to the way both of them laying down on the ground. Later on in this video, I'm going to show y'all why this part right here, why this moment right here just, it really caught your boy in the feels at the end of this episode. And I'm going to show y'all, just look at the way they both laying down after being defeated by your boy Ryo. But anyway, you have it where they show what happened to your boy Ryu. Yeah, like yo, they show what happened to him, and I appreciate that they did this. They could have did something where they dragged it out and made us wait to see what actually happened, but no, they chose to show us from the very beginning. And I don't know why that armor right there just made me think of Anubis. I know it ain't Anubis, but that's what it made me think of. But you got it where, oh man, when he did this part and he glued, oh my gosh, the original armor is so damn cool. Hey, look, I had the toys. I had the Ronin, I had his toy, I had Ryu of Wildfire, and I had the armor of Inferno. I think my brother had Sage, what was it Sage of Halo? He had his armor, and I think he had Kento of Hard Rock. The crazy thing is, back in the day, nobody wanted Side of the Torrent. I'm gonna just be honest with you guys. Like we growing up, we really weren't fans of that guy. I don't know what it was about him. Maybe the baby blue armor. I'm not sure. I mean, I like the color baby blue now, but I guess at that age, maybe that's the reason. I don't know. Something about Side just wasn't appealing to me. I don't. Am I the only one who felt like that? But anyway, I'm getting off track. But when he did this shit right here, hey, your boy was screaming, "Ryu of Wildfire, Dow G!" What was it? What he used to say? I never watched the sub, by the way. I've never watched the sub version, but in the dub, it was Swords of Wildfire, flare up now. And that was, oh my God, you got him when he did the spin right here with the flame around it. I was like, yo, no, not my boy, not my boy. Hey, look, I'm just sorry, man. This episode has so much going for it, man. This might be a long video because we got so much to talk about. But in this moment, this is when we see your boy Ryu gets taken over. Like his body gets taken over by this demon, and he's being controlled this whole time. Now, with this being said, like I got a little theory right here now. Well, not theory. I'm wondering what happened to the other warriors. Are we going to have a moment in the future episodes where, Ryu, he's going to have a flashback, or he's going to be thinking about what took place, and we find out that he actually took out the other warriors or got them held captive, because they all went in together, but Ryo is the only one they're showing in this episode. So, like I said, I wonder if he had to fight them. Like, he had to fight them, and they didn't want to really fight their comrade because they knew he was being controlled. So they accepted death. Or is it one of those things where they're being held captive and maybe their energy is being ciphered to give this guy even more strength? I'm very curious how this played out. And with that being said, with them revealing that Ryo body was taken over, it really explains how Guy can be the son of this demon lord. Because I was like, it's just not adding up. So it is the son of the demon lord, but that's not the demon lord's original body. Now I'm very curious if Guy is was aware that this isn't his father's original body. I'm very curious about that, but I'm sure he is, because I mean the dude's like 15 years old, so obviously he only had this demon lord only had Ryu's body for about 3 years? Was it 3 years, 5 years, something like that? But anyway, you got that going on, but then you have it where he pretty much says, like, he tells him, like, yo, I'm gonna give y'all 7 days, say y'all prayers, count y'all blessings, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna demolish all of y'all. You got a powerful ass enemy when this dude gives you prep time. Like, he's so confident in his ability that he gives y'all prep time. He's like, yo, hey, look, man, go hug your family, give them kisses and all that. 7 days, I'll be back, man. I don't want to just wipe y'all out right now. That's too easy. But you have it where, he goes and he makes his castle and he says, like, yo, he'll see you in 7 days. And then you got it where even his warriors right here, they begin to fight our samurai troopers, and they say they've been holding back this whole time. And so we don't see some of these guys' faces. I mean, we've seen some of them, but we haven't seen all of them. And I wonder if maybe some of these guys are actually the original warriors, and maybe they're brainwashed. I'm very curious about that. But anyway, you have that go down, and then you have the rest of this episode, which the beginning was peak. This whole part right here was peak. But then everything else we got in this episode was just even more peak, I guess, so to speak, man, so to speak. Now, what made this episode so amazing, and what makes this show, I would say, a little bit better than the original Ronin Warriors, is how the characters are so relatable. Like the new troopers, they're so relatable when you look at them and then think about the OG Ronin warriors. Like they were kind of one dimensional. You know, there's evil, we must fight it. Not to say anything's wrong with that, but you know, we didn't really get to dive too much in some of the characters. I feel like the most person who got we dove into the most was probably Sage. Of the Halo, I feel like he got the most, I guess, development, and maybe Ryu of Wildfire as well. But I feel like in this series, everybody does, and I just like how realistic it feels in some aspects. Like you have this moment right here where these guys are sitting down talking about how they got defeated, and you have it where what's the kid name, Musha? He says like, "Yo, I don't think we should be doing this. Like, yo, I don't want to die. I mean, we're just kids. Like, why should we have to fight? Like, yo, I'd rather run and be ridiculed for it than to stay here and try to fight and end up losing my life." And that's some real shit. Like, yo, that's something a real 15-year-old would say in this situation. I know we see a ton of series, a ton of anime where the people like, yo, I mean, I'm young, but you know, I'm willing to sacrifice my life for the world. But nah, man, that shit ain't realistic all the time. I mean, it probably is some diehard people out there in the world, but nah, man, I felt like this was way more realistic with him saying like, "Yo, nah, man, we're just kids. We're just 15. Like, look, man, I don't think we should be doing this. I don't want to die. Like, we just lost to these guys. There's no way we could win it. Like, I don't want to do this." And I feel like it was really realistic, and I like the fact that they actually took the time to show that in this episode, and you could see like this dude is seriously like, yo, he's seriously scared. Like he's freaking out right here, like saying he can't do this. He can't be a part of this. Like this dude's like shivering up, shaking and shit. And I just thought that was, I don't know, I really liked it, man. I thought it was a nice touch to add to this episode. And then something even more, we have it where Guy is over here training and he's, you know, he's not feeling fulfilled in his training. It's not enough for him. And you have it where Oda tells him like, yo, if ever, you know, these puppets feel too easy or you just feel like you can't take them on anymore or whatever the case may be, try this program when you get a chance. And you see that we have it where your boy is actually in here fighting. You know, you have it where Guy goes to fight, and you have it where you find out that the people he got to face off against is the people he killed. This simulation takes the memories of those people, like people from your memory, from your past that you encountered, and it turns them into your enemies. And you see all the people that Guy actually you know what I'm saying, slayed in the, you know what I'm saying, first episode. And you got it where they're saying their regrets and stuff like that. And this part was just brutal, man. Yo, all these people saying like, yo, you just killed us. Like, yo, I had a family that meant the world to me. You took me away from my family. All the stuff that, you know what I'm saying, that he did to them. And I feel like this was just, this part of the episode was dark. It was unexpected. I was like, yo, this is torture. And you have it where Guy is just constantly going back through it. Like you got this guy right here. He said, yo, I just happened to be there. And you took my life like it was nothing. And this was the guy at the beginning of the series where he was on the phone, which I think was dumb as hell. Like who would do, well, this day and age, someone would do that shit. But you got it where he's sitting there recording these guys walking in armor like it's cool. And you have it where Guy just sliced his head off like it was nothing. And this guy is saying like, yo, I just happened to be there. Like, yo, why did you do that to me? Why? Why? I mean, this shit was so brutal, yo. Did not expect this to happen. Like him just seeing everything that happened. And you know what he says when his group members come to him and they ask him why is he doing this? He was like, yo, the pain I felt when Oda died, like that must be how the families of the people I took out felt when I first came, you know what I'm saying, to this land, to Earth from the demon realm. And he was like, yo, it just feels like someone's just crushing your heart. And that's probably how they felt. So this is his way to repent, so to speak. And it was just, man, it was rough. It was rough. There's no telling how many times he allowed himself to be taken out by these people. Like, look at the way he's just shaking. Like, yo, it hurts, man. Like, this is something he never experienced before. He never felt this way before. And the crazy thing is he's becoming more and more human every day. and it's just like, yo, I mean, I don't know, man. I just felt like this was an epic moment. But then you have it where, they give what's his name, Shion, they give him like this little drive from it came from Oda, and he actually like uses it, and he goes up to the members of the troopers and he tells them like, yo, if you guys could beat me in a fight, you know what I'm saying, I'll join y'all, but if you lose, you guys give me y'all gear, and I'll go find a suitable team because you guys aren't ready. And you got it where all of them are pretty much sparring. And that's what I said. This part was really touching because as they're fighting, as they're going against one another in battle, you have it where, Shion is thinking about the information that your boy Oda left on this flash drive, pretty much explaining everybody' personality. Like Oda himself, he knew he wouldn't live long. Like it wasn't even that he would die in battle. I'm assuming he knew he would probably die from that curse. You know what I'm saying? That poison that affected him. But you got it where he gives him a flash drive explaining how everybody personality is. And I thought this was very dope right here. Like, and you got it where, Shion is using that to help him out in the battle against all his, against all the troopers. And he's using it to get the upper hand in battle. And then you have it where he actually ends up, as he's fighting him, you have it where the troopers are seeing your boy Oda. But then he faces off against Guy last after he beat everybody. And Guy's the last one. And you have it where at the end they begin to cheer on Guy. They start, forgetting about quitting because they were planning on quitting. They were planning on leaving. But you have it here where these guys are cheering on Guy, saying like, yo, you got this. Don't give up. And you have it where, Guy, not Guy, but yeah, Guy and Shion, they begin to exchange blows. And I like the fact that these guys was actually throwing blows. Like they were going back and forth, like just blow to blow. And oh my God, like the animation and art in some of these scenes was just so top notch. But just the fact, look at these, like they throwing blows like this, and this shit just looks so damn beautiful. Like this episode it had a lot to unpack. I could talk about this episode all day, man, all damn day. But you have this scene right here, like I was telling y'all at the beginning of this episode. You have this scene right here where Shion ends up losing, and he's laying on the ground. And look at how this is. They're laying the exact opposite. So if you go back to the beginning of the episode, Shion was laying the way that Oda is, and Oda was laying the way that Shion was. And I just think this was so amazing. And then you have guys standing there. And you know what I'm saying? In that flashback we got earlier, it was Ryu of Wildfire. This was just such an amazing episode, man. And I'm probably not even doing it justice. But this episode was something else, man. This was something else. But let me know your thoughts on this one down below, man. And if you like the video, thumb it up. Please subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. Peace. Damn, every time, man, they get me with this scene, man. I love it when they do the transformations like that. I hope we get an episode when everyone actually does the transformation because these scenes be making my day. But yo, let's talk about this episode.
Armor of Halo! Gouji!
What's up, y'all? We back at it with another episode of Samurai Troopers, episode 7, man. Hey, look, I'm really digging how this show it has everything, if you ask me, man. Outside of the CGI, that's probably my one gripe about the series, is the CGI. But I could get past it due to how good the story is, or at least to me. You guys can let me know how y'all feel. But I'm loving how you have moments where you're laughing. You got some serious moments. You got the action moments. Then you got some real heartfelt moments like we got towards the end of this episode. I really love how they're doing this in this series. In some ways, this does feel better than the OG Ronin Warriors that I had as back in my childhood. And then, of course, there's part of me that's like, no, it can never be better than the original. So I don't know. Let me know down below which one y'all rock with more, like, and how close are they in surpassing one another as far as the one you got at the top. But I love how in this episode we got to see June. June returns. Now, I don't like the way he did return because we got him right here as a kid, you know. And I ain't gonna lie, to me, in the original Ronin Warriors, I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. At least in the beginning stages of the series, June was annoying to me. He was very annoying because he was doing, and I get it because he was a kid in that situation, but he was doing like shit that wasn't smart. And I mean, it's just, and then all the Mia, like he was always screaming her name and stuff like that. To me, that shit was annoying as hell growing up. But to see what they did to his character, I'm like, hey, yo, the level of disrespect. But then they kind of redeem him in this episode as well. So we're going to get to that part as well. But just seeing how he started, and then you got him right here. Hey, look, and the fact that you got Kaito holding the phone, looking at him like, this is the same dude. There's no way. There's no. And then he like puts the phone down, and then you get to see how he is. He's this little like older man that's complaining about the food and stuff like that. But then you find out he went through his own hardships, and because of that, you know, he went down a path he wasn't proud or happy of. You got it where he's calling himself a failure at life. He quit his training and he let down everyone. I imagine he probably was thinking he could be the next samurai trooper, and maybe even the people around him was encouraging him and telling him that because he was with the OG Ronin warriors as they faced off against the Demon Lord in the past, and all that pressure on him probably was hard for him to bear, and eventually he just folded and he just quit everything because he felt like he couldn't live up to everybody's expectations of him. But then you have it where she walks up to him, Mia walks up to him, and I don't know why, I really like this moment right here where she walks up to him and calls his name, says, June, you're an idiot, and punches him in the face in front of everybody, sends him rolling. Now, I guess she's been doing some training too. She's saying, I'm not going to just be a damsel in distress. But she ends up punching him and saying, like, yo, remember how brave you was growing up, man? Like, yo, how brave you used to be. You can still be that guy. And you have it where, you know, he agrees to help out. It says apparently it's been 35 years since Mia last hit him, which is crazy. And then you have it where they kind of gave him this moment right here to redeem himself. You see him wearing the outfit of the Ancient One. He even has the staff of the Ancient One, which was a nice touch right here, if you ask me. I thought it was something unexpected. I wasn't expecting him to give the outfit of the Ancient One. Now, it makes me wonder, did he go undergo some training of the Ancient One? Like, was he actually trained by an old girl? I believe her name was Kaga. I might be saying it wrong. The girl who was saved by Anubis, you know what I'm saying, and became the new Ancient One towards the end of the series. I'm curious if maybe she trained him a little bit, if maybe he spent some time with her, because he's wearing the robes of the Ancient One and he performs this, you know, this ritual. He's able to ask them where this mirror is, this mirror that they're looking for, this third piece, this third relic, because he needs it in order to restore the armors. Now, I'm curious if it's going to be the armors that the Warriors were wearing 5 years ago, or if it's going to be the armors from the OVA, the new armors that they got. I'm very curious how this is going to play out. But then you actually have it where it jumps to the demon world, well, to the castle, and you have it where Ryu is sitting there. He's having a conversation. And as he's having this conversation, you see that new demon lord here, the one who's taken over Ryo's body. And you see that Ryo is actually fighting back, trying to fight for control of his body. You see this moment right here where the markings disappear, but then he's forced to put the mask on. I'm imagining that the mask helped him further his control over this body. I could be completely wrong, but you have it where he does that in order for him to maintain control over this body. And you got it where they're pretty much saying everything's going according to plan. They actually wanted the troopers to find this, you know what I'm saying, to find this mirror, maybe so they can obtain this armor for themselves, this power for themselves. It seems as if everything is going according to plan. And that's the one thing I will say, like, yo, it felt a little too suspicious or a little too easy for him to give them 7 days. I know some people saying Guy isn't exactly right now. Like, he still has some more power to absorb from the other warlords or the other, you know what I'm saying, the 10 warlords. And maybe that's why, you know, his father didn't want to acquire his body just yet. And that could be the case. But I still felt like it was a little too easy, if you ask me. But anyway, you have it where they find a location of where this mirror is, and they decide to go there. To find out the location is where Yama and Musa actually grew up at, and you see that they're kind of hesitant about going back because how this man actually raised and treated them. And you have it where eventually you find out that he's been killed. You got it where one of the warlords are actually controlling him. They got the ability to control anyone they kill, which is crazy. You got it where our troopers are unaware of this, and they're pretty much asking for apology from this guy, saying that he treated them bad. And he actually goes to apologize, but of course you got it where Musa says it doesn't feel right. It didn't feel genuine. It felt like that he was just saying what they wanted to hear. They're trying to remember where the mirror could be, and they know the mirror is there because it's keeping all the other puppets from entering. It's kind of made somewhat of a barrier. So they're looking around trying to see where this particular mirror can be, and then you have it where Musa actually has a memory of this safe that he found while playing in the house as a child. This guy reappears, and then he admits to taking over the body of this guy who raised him. And you have it where he even goes as far as to say to them, like, yo, he was being corrupted by that mirror. That mirror brings a person negative emotions to the forefront, eventually to the point where that's all they remember, that's all they know are the negative things, which can make a person mean and hateful towards those around him. So it seems like that's why he wasn't the good person that these kids, desired, or why they didn't remember him being a good person. But of course, you find out where there were times where he did actually manage to treat them nice, which made this battle even sadder. You got it where they're forced to face off against the person who raised them, because as you see, he got turned to this monster due to the warlords. And then we get this nice moment right here with, oh my gosh, we get this nice moment right here with Shion, and he's actually doing the transformation. If I'm not mistaken, the only person left for us to see transform is, let me see, I want to say is Musa. Musa's the last one that we haven't seen. I know we've seen Guy. I know we've seen Yama. We just got Shion. I think we got Kaito as well. So yeah, I think Musa is the only one left to see transform. But yeah, you have him putting on the armor. This was such an amazing, man. I don't know, man. It just takes me back every time I see this shit. Every time I see this shit, it takes me back. But you got where they're facing off against this guy right here while his body is being controlled. You got to where Musa as well as Yama are the ones who pretty much finish him off. Here where they work together to finish this guy off. Of course, you got Yama using his technique, and then you also have it where Musa jumps in as well and does his ice technique, which I'm kind of rocking with the ice. I think it's a nice touch over water from side of the torrent. I think it's a nice touch using ice as opposed to water. I don't know why. I just wasn't the biggest Psy fan back in the day. I know he had his moments in the OVA, but I don't know, man. Something about him, man. I just never was the biggest fan of him. But you have it where they're able to defeat this guy, and he's fading away, similar to like what happened to Kaito's mother a few episodes ago when he first got his suit. You have it where he's beginning to fade away, and you have it where Yama's asking him to not just disappear, don't just go without saying a word. He needs him here. He needs him. He was like, yo, don't give up, you know what I'm saying, this crap. Pretty much he wants him there because he found out the truth that the only reason he became a bad person is due to the effects of that mirror. And I guess he wants to see how he would be now that the mirror was taken all out of his hands, if he could be the person he was before he had that mirror. And you got it where he's saying like, yo, who the hell are we going to blame without you? Like, yo, we curse you tons of times. If you're here, who are we going to curse? And I don't know. I just thought this was a really touching moment. Like, the shit hit hard, if you ask me. It hit real hard. But it was, I don't know, it was a really sad moment. But then you got it right here where they go to face off against these warriors. The old boy gets his body back. You got it where they're about to face off against him. And then you have another moment here where the mirror itself actually like shoots this blast off and attacks. It attacks this guy. And his design looks pretty dope, this warlord. But you got it where the mirror shoots this beam. You see it glowing up. I don't know what caused it to happen. Maybe the sun shining on it, because the sun is shining on it. And because of that, it's able to shoot this beam, and it instantly blasts this guy and takes him out. Like, it wipes him out completely. That scene was dope as hell. That shit took me back to some old school Ronin Warriors, the way his body's like deteriorating away. But anyway, you have it where that happens. And then you got it where his comrades are looking, and they're like, yo, he brought it on himself. Let's just leave. Let's just retreat. And then of course you got it where they do actually leave, but the spear of that warlord that just got defeated actually goes inside your boy Guy again. And so I imagine, you know what I'm saying, once all those warlords' power go into Guy, he will be the perfect vessel for for the new ruler to take over. But I could be completely wrong. But then you have this moment right here where they're actually watching a tape of their teacher and how he used to be, how nice he was before he was corrupted by the mirror. You got it where you're looking at this picture from him, and then you get this very crazy moment at the end, this twist that was unexpected. And you got it where their teacher begins to talk. He speaks to Yama as well as Musa, and then he also calls out to Kaito and Shion, saying that they all were at this school at some point in time, but they were adopted, you know what I'm saying? Kaito as well as Shion, they were adopted at some point, and that he knew that they all would be samurai troopers. Now, how does he know that? We don't know, because the episode ends before giving us an answer to that, and I was so mad. The way this episode ended, like, yo, damn, I want to know what's the connection with all of them. The fact that he knew all of them and, you know what I'm saying, knew their names, they all went to the school, it has to be a reason why this actually happened. But, yo, all in all, great episode. But let me know your thoughts on this one down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. Peace. I ain't gonna lie, his shit might be the cleanest. His might actually be the cleanest. I think I rock with it the most, especially the way he got the hand up like, yo, bring it. Like, I don't know, I kind of rock with it. Yo, we got to talk about this latest episode. What's up, y'all? We back at it with another episode of Samurai Troopers, episode 8, man. I really love when we get these flashbacks right here. Like, they just feel so wholesome. They just take me back to my childhood. I just want so much more, man. So much more, so many more of these. But I really like the fact that we got this in this episode. It was just a nice moment, even though it was with White Blaze being hurt. But it was just a really nice moment. But we do got some stuff to talk about. And when it comes with June, man, June kind of, I get why he did what he did. I just don't like the way he did it, man. It was harsh. He could have went about it a different way. But I do like that we got a little bit of his backstory and how he was on a journey to become an ancient one, to become the next samurai trooper. And you just see the training he went through and how White Blaze chose to stick by his side, which is very surprising. I would have thought that he would have stuck with, you know what I'm saying, Ryu, but for whatever reason, he chose to follow, you know what I'm saying, your boy June. Now, from what I remember from the original series, and I feel like I'm going to go back at some point and rewatch it, definitely to see if it still holds up. But one thing, I just don't remember his connection with White Blaze being that great. I'm not saying it was bad, but I don't remember, like, me watching the show saying like, yo, damn, White Blaze really cares about June. I don't really remember that going down like that. Now, I thought like maybe Mia cared about him a lot, like Mia wanted the best for June, but I never sat down and thought that about White Blaze. I mean, about, White Blaze. It's crazy to me, but I ain't gonna lie. Him, before he decided to become this big version of himself, his design was sick, yo. The ponytail with the gi suit on, that joint looked dope as hell. But you find out that this man actually chose to get rid of White Blaze. And then you got this moment right here where I promise you, I think this is, what's her name? Lady, I got it on the screen. Lady Kayura. I think this is her. They don't show her face, and I think that's the reason why. And I want to say 3 of these warriors they show in the background right here. If you look closely at the screen, you can see them. These 3 of these warriors, I'm assuming, are the past warlords from the first Ronin Warriors. I could be completely wrong, but I feel like that might be the case. And I feel like the one that we seen, like their whole body in this episode, was just some random one, because I have no idea who that person is. And if it's someone they showed, and maybe I just can't remember because how long ago Ronin warriors was out, let me know down below. But I feel like that's some random person. I know somebody's going to say, well, couldn't that person, fourth person be Anubis? No, unless I'm remembering incorrectly, Anubis died when he saved old girl, if I'm not mistaken. When he made her the ancient one, he gave his life to do so. So he shouldn't be around. Unless I forgot something that took place from, since it's so long ago. But anyway, you have it where you find out that guy, I mean, not guy, but June actually got rid of White Blaze because he was told by them, I'm saying, the ancient ones or the people, the divine ones, that everyone near him will be cursed and hurt. So he didn't want that to happen to White Blaze. So he chose to get rid of White Blaze. Now, I understand why he did it. He wanted to protect him, you know what I'm saying? And that was probably the real main theme of this episode, because you have it where our boy, Kaito, he's mad at his grandmother because she never told him that he was adopted. This whole time he thought that was his flesh and blood. And that was the theme, you have it where a guy says at a point in time in this episode, like, yo, maybe your grandmother kept this from you in order to, keep you happy. It probably hurted her keeping this from you just as much as it hurts you finding out about it. And you have it where that's, pretty much what your boy June was going through. It hurt him to get rid of, White Blaze, but at the same time, it was necessary because he wanted to protect White Blaze. It was one of those like, people don't always do stuff to be mean. It's more so to protect you, but they may have not went about it the best way. But the dude sold him for 30,000 yen. That's crazy. But in this episode, we also get to see the final transformation. We get it from your boy Musa. He actually does the transformation in this episode, and that will make it complete where we've seen all 5 warriors do their transformation. Let me see if I could catch him. He's about to do it right here. Let me skip to it right here. Yeah, we got him actually doing his, and I ain't gonna lie, it actually was kind of clean. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was gonna be the weakest one, but I don't know. I might have to say Shion might have the weakest one. You know what I'm saying? I thought it would be him, but his shit was clean. I mean, all of them was clean, but if I had to pick the weakest, I probably would go with Shion. I feel like his, just the way he's standing there with the hand out right there, that shit kind of cold. You can't say that shit ain't cold. That shit look clean. But anyway, you got to wear his hands out like that, and, they're all running up to fight. Now, as they're fighting, that's pretty much where, June makes the statement saying, he tried to take the life of White Blaze, but White Blaze survived, and that's what led him to sell White Blaze, which is crazy that he tried to take the life of White Blaze. But then you have it where one of the workers of the Ancient One comes up to White Blaze, does some type of, spell on him, and turns White Blaze into the enemy. And then you have it where White Blaze ends up wounding June and like just biting him. But their bond was so strong that once June started apologizing, saying, yo, let this happen, I deserve this, you have it where White Blaze actually snap out of what was going on. He snaps out of it and he comes to his senses, and then the guy, like this divine being, increases the power over White Blaze, which makes him turn to this even bigger monster, which kind of made me think of Black Blaze in a sense, like, yo, he looks like Black Blaze right here. Now, remember, Black Blaze gave up his life in order to save White Blaze in the original anime. I don't know how many of y'all remember that, but you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And so you got it where, all of the warriors begin to face off against this giant White Blaze, well, Black Blaze now, and they all use their, their signature attack, their secret technique, their secret art. And you just have it where your boy Guy summons that sword and uses it on White Blaze, or I don't feel right calling him White Blaze since he's not white in this particular scene. But anyway, you got it where they managed to defeat him. He goes back to being normal. They're on the verge of getting this new armor, and I imagine that's why they made sure all 5 warriors did their transformation, had a solo transformation by the end of this episode. Now, I imagine the next episode we might get them where they all transform individually within the same episode, and then they get their new armor the following episode. I imagine it's going to go down like that, but I could be wrong. But you see it where your boy Guy does manage to defeat another one of the 10 warriors, and he does gain that power, that energy from him, and you find out, from the warlord, the demon lord, once that to happen, he wants Ryu to get strong. I mean, not Ryu, but Guy to get stronger and stronger until his body is perfect for the taking. So we see that that's actually getting closer. And you got it with the other warlords. They actually hear about it as well. They find out that, they're all expendable except for the ones, without names, I guess. And we got it where they're pretty much deciding whether or not they should actually go against their king, their demon lord. And we'll find out. I imagine some of them will towards the end, but as of right now, most of them are still working on this side. Now, I will say this probably was one of the weaker episodes, but at the same time, it was still enjoyable. We got White Blaze back by the end of the episode, and then we got a little more mystery going on with Mia and trying to figure out who she really working for. We know it's the government, but maybe it's even something more to it, and we just not aware of it. But let me know your thoughts on this episode down below. And if you like the video, thumb it up, please subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. Peace. Damn, I wasn't expecting it to get this damn dark. He took all their heads. Yo, we got to talk about this episode right here. This is crazy.
Armor of wildfire! Down!
Y'all, we got the latest episode of Samurai Troopers, episode 9, titled Outbreak. And I know in the beginning episodes of this series, I thought Kaito had the worst backstory. I thought his life was the saddest. But after seeing this episode, it's Shion without a doubt. And I love how this series can have you thinking one character backstory was the worst, and then the next moment you're like, nah, we got a better perspective of this character. No, his backstory is the worst. Yeah, it's definitely Shion with everything that happened 3 years ago with him and his team actually going through the Demon Gate to see what happened to the original Ronin warriors. It was brutal, man. It was brutal. And now I see why Oda kept this from Shion, because something like that, man, he wouldn't be the guy he is right now if he knew the truth. If he knew the truth of everything that took place 3 years ago, he wouldn't be the same person. And Oda knew that. And it's crazy how even though Oda is gone right now, he was able to he's able to still leave his mark on the show. And I really like that, man. Like I said, outside of the CGI armor stuff, I'm really enjoying this series. Like, I just wish the whole series was animated all the time as opposed to throwing that little, the CGI part in. And then we also find in this episode Mia, and I know the Japanese name is different, but damn it, she was Mia growing up. She's going to be Mia now. But Mia, she's been communicating with the Demon Lord this whole time, ever since the original group of the Ronin warriors got, taken 5 years ago. She's been communicating and doing whatever he wanted in order to save, her comrades, the first Ronin warriors. And she should know when it comes to dealing with, dealing with like demon lords and just evil people in general, they usually don't give you what you want. So for her to be doing all this for the sake of, the demon lord, it just kind of seems messed up. It kind of seems like, how could you fall for such a thing? You have it where, she pretty much explains what happened 5 years ago and what led, different, different warriors or different troopers to, go to the path that they're on right now. As far as like when it comes to Ryu of Wildfire, she pretty much says like, what led him to meet, Musa as well as Yama in the past, what led to Kaito being adopted and how he was a gifted child, and they knew he would be something special. The grandmother knew. Like, you have it where Mia just pretty much explains all of that. But then you got it where it jumps to the warlords, the 10 warlords, and they pretty much saying they don't want to have to jump in this battle. They don't want to have to fight. Say they don't want to have to sacrifice their lives so that Guy can get stronger and become, become this ultimate vessel for the current demon lord. And then we have this moment right here where we see the bodies of the past Ronin warriors, the ones 3 years ago that was a part of Shion's team. You got it where they're all coming out this little portal, and you have it where the demon lord is saying that he's going to have to sacrifice another one of them. And you see there's only 3 of them because Shion as well as Oda managed to escape all those years ago. So I felt like that was a nice moment, a nice surprise seeing that. And then you have it where the Ronin, I'm about to call them Ronin warriors, but the samurai troopers were actually training, and you have this moment where Guy walks up to, walks up to Shion to talk to him about this sword. And Shion said, yeah, he felt the sword was taking over him in the past. And I don't know why anyone would even want to use these weapons if they can corrupt you like this. You got him who did terrible things when he had the sword. You got it where the caretaker of, of the kids, all the other kids, eventually turned to a darker version of himself because of the mirror. Like, I don't see why anyone would want to keep these weapons. Forget the divine armor. Like, is it really that good of an armor if the pieces, associated with it corrupts you? Nah, you could keep the armor. That's how I would be in this scenario. But anyway, you got it where Guy's talking to, Shion about what happened. And then you find out that Shion was actually the reason why his comrades didn't make it back alive. He said he blacked out, and when he came to, all he seen was his fellow comrades laying on the ground. And then you have it where, Guy's telling him, I think you're the reason why that happened. I think you may have actually cut down your teammates. And if you look at them, you see that their armors look kind of similar to the original Ronin warrior armors. And honestly like the designs of the previous samurai troopers. I don't know, especially like the girl Jung. She got this torrent armor on, and it looks pretty cool the way they made her armor look. And then you got the hard rock right there, and then you got the wildfire. I like that we got, so far in this series, we got 3 different versions of the samurai trooper armors, and I'm really digging that, man. But anyway, you got it where he says when he came to, all of his teammates were down on the ground, and there was no one left but him and Oda. Now, while he was fighting his teammates, I'm curious what Oda was doing. Was Oda engaged in battle with someone else when this happened? But then you got it where Guy goes to tell him, he was like, yo, I saw you guys back then. I was there. And we actually get a glimpse at, at Guy's true demon form. Unlike everyone else, he really is a demon, You got it where they actually show it in this episode, this moment right here. And you see right here, these 2 right here. Now, I'm assuming the guy with the ponytail looking out the window right here is actually Guy, and this is someone else by his side. I'm not sure who this is. Maybe that will be made out to us at some point, but they're going to give us a close-up, and this is Guy face right here. He's saying he was watching, and he said anyone could tell that the humans were losing. So this is Guy true form. This is what Guy really looks like. So he really is a demon. Now, I could be wrong, but the fact that he said he was there watching it go on, and then we get this part right here of a demon looking at what's going on, it leads me to believe that this is truly him. Now, if it isn't him, let me know down below, but I feel like this is Guy. Like I said, this episode gave us a lot of reveals, man. We see a lot of things right here. But what really, really shocked me is them actually showing, Shion get corrupt by the sword, turn evil, and then actually turn on his comrades. And him just realizing, like, yo, you're telling me that I took out my teammates? It was me? Like I said, Oda's a great person because I imagine he saw what went down, and he just chose to keep your boy Shion from witnessing it again. And you just have this moment where he turns evil. Look at that. He got the red in his eyes, and it's the same thing we seen happen to Guy in the previous episode while he was wielding that sword. But you got it where he's running at his opponent. I ain't gonna lie. that armor, the hard rock armor right here, looks better than the hard rock armor that we got now. I feel like they should have did reverse. I'm just keeping it 100. And then you got it where he goes at, look, he takes down one person, takes down her. Like, yo, say her outfit looks dope as hell, man. That shit looks so cool. Then you got it where he takes out the wildfire one as well. And he takes each of them down. And when he comes to, you know, his comrades are down. But you got it where it's hard for him to accept what actually happened. And then you got it where it actually goes with them engaging in battle. 7 days have passed. And you got it where they're facing off against these warriors. You got it where you get to see them all standing here. Like I said, this armor looks so damn clean. Like, it looks way better than the current armor. You know what I'm saying? Like, I rock with all of it. I will say, I'm not the biggest fan of the wildfire one. I feel like that one looked better. It looks better, like, with the original as well as with the one that Guy is wearing, if you ask me. But you gotta wear, yeah. I don't know. I just don't like the gold trim with the wildfire. If you take the gold trim away, I guess it could be okay, but for the most part, I'm not the biggest fan of that. But, yo, the hard rock as well as, you know what I'm saying, the torrent one, them shits look goated. They look goated as hell, if you ask me. You guys let me know how y'all feel about it down below. But then you have this cold scene where they engage in battle with him. Shion, of course, he can't finish them off. And you got it where Guy steps in because Guy knows this is something that he won't be able to do due to his feelings on what happened to these guys in the past. And then you just have this cold-ass moment right here where, yo, Shion comes in as, you know what I'm saying? I mean, not Shion, but Guy comes in as Shion is saying that he can't do it. He can't finish them off. These are his brothers. These are his friends. He feels guilty for what happened to him. And then you just have this moment right here. Like, look at them about to go in for the kill. I ain't gonna lie. Like I said, the armors look dope as hell. But then you just have this moment right here where they're about to go in for the kill. And then next thing you know, I did not expect him to go so damn dark with this. Like, yo, he took the hairs of all of them, man. He took all of their heads, and it's insane. Insane. You got to feel sorry for them because I guess they were already dead and they were just puppets, but they did somewhat remember who they were in their previous lives. So that's what kind of makes it really sad. And then you have it where, you know, Guy himself becomes corrupted by the sword. And he tells Shion, like, yo, if this happens to me, I need you to take care of me. I don't want to lose the only team the first team I've ever had. And you got it where Shion is looking at his comrades, and he does something that it kind of reminds me of the armor of Inferno. He looks at his comrades and he takes parts of their armor and put it with his armor so that he can have extra armor. It's almost like the Inferno without the complete transformation, if you ask me. While you got Guy taking on this little demon, 2 of the 10 warriors, you got it where he gets corrupted by the sword as well. And as he's corrupted, you have it where he goes to attack his friends. But then that's when your boy Shion jumps in and he interferes in the battle. You see that in his flashback that he actually takes the armor and he wears it and he uses it to actually, you know what I'm saying, stop the blow. If you look right here, you see him wearing the armor of his comrades on top of his own armor. You know what I'm saying? He got 3 different armors on right now so that he could take the blade and then still be able to stop Guy without actually hurting him and return him back to normal. And then you have the episode ending with this guy right here showing up to talk to old girl. And I don't know why. I think this may be one of the previous Ronin warriors. I could be completely wrong, but I think this is one of the previous Ronin warriors showing up to speak and, you know what I'm saying, give advice. Because if I'm not mistaken, this is the same guy who shot Guy in the chest in the first episode, which led him to become a good guy. So I think this is one of the previous Ronin warriors. I could be wrong, but I don't know. I think it might be Rowan of the Strata. I could be wrong, though. It's just the way he looked and then the fact that he's working in the shadows. But then again, maybe the Demon Lord is making him do this. I don't know, because I feel like the Demon Lord would have him wipe her out since she's kind of interfering with Mia working for their side. I don't know. There's a lot of questions with this one. But let me know your thoughts on this episode down below, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace. All right, tell me who did it better, him or Ryu of Wildfire? Let me know. I don't know. I do like the way it looked, but I still got to give it to Ryu of Wildfire. Yo, we got to talk about this latest episode. It was crazy.
Armor of Inferno!
What's up, y'all? We back at it with another episode of Samurai Troopers, episode 10, title Sacrifice, and what a sacrifice it was. Sorry for the late upload. Your boy was at work today, and you know what I'm saying? You know how I be. But make sure you hype me up and thumb up the video. Greatly appreciate it. Man, this was one of those episodes where I wasn't expecting it to go down like this. I definitely did not see it turning out the way it did. Now, we did get some good stuff out of this episode, but at what cost? And I guess that's why the title of this episode is Sacrifice, because I was not expecting it. Now, when it comes to her character, you know what I'm saying, her right here, I didn't dislike her. I didn't like her. She was just there. You know, she had some funny moments, but for the most part, I was just like, it is what it is when it comes to her character. But after you see this episode and you just watch it all the way through and you just see like the bonds and relationships she had with the other samurai troopers and how she kind of like looked at them like little brothers, as you realize that throughout this episode and then you get to the end of this episode, you're just like, yo, damn. I really didn't expect it to go out like that. But you have it where she actually got captured by one of the warlords at the end of the last episode. And it's crazy because I was thinking that person was going to turn out to be a Ronin, one of the original Ronin warriors, but that wasn't the case. He really was a warlord. And he captured her and brought her to the Demon Lord. And you have this situation where the Demon Lord is trying to make these guys unlock the white armor. And by doing so, he's torturing her, making them realize how to do their sacred art. So in a way, he's kind of helping them, but he's helping them so that he can make himself stronger. So you got it where he's pretty much making them go on these quests where they have to go into their memories and face their past in order to unlock their sacred art. You have it where pretty much all of them are separated, except for what's his name? Except for Yama as well as Musa. Those were the only two that were together because they both grew up in the orphanage. But like when you see Guy and you see his flashback, it was crazy. Also, I do rock with that dude design, but you see Guy right here, and you see where his flashback, you see him actually taking the lives of the civilians, day one, episode 1, and I'm not gonna lie, it was even more brutal watching it right here than it was when you actually watch episode 1. I don't know if it's because he's here to bear witness of what he actually did, but look at his face, man. You could see that he's like, that's weighing on him. And I feel like this might be a situation where even though he kind of like, it seemed like he forgave himself, but I don't feel like he will truly ever forgive himself for what he did in that first episode with all those lives he took. I mean, he was doing it like it was nothing. Like, I'm gonna take it back for y'all, real quick. Like, look at oh my God, the splatter is just crazy. Like, I really love how brutal this series can be at times. But yeah, just him, the way he act, the way he handled. Like, look at this, man. Look at this. Like, look at this. This shit was crazy. But you got it where each of these, troopers are facing their past, facing their memories. And then at the same time, they're facing off against the warlords, the remaining warlords, because most of them are being defeated. And you got it where they're facing them without their armors. And what I really like about this episode is the fact that they didn't have their armors for majority of it. Because, we got to see it fully animated and no CGI. Don't get me wrong, I like the armors. I think the armors designs for most of them look pretty damn good. But I don't like the CGI aspect. That takes away from the armor, if you ask me. It makes it look bulky and clunky in some points. But, other than that, I really love this show. Now, I like the fact that, we got to see him, like I was just saying, fight without the armor, using their weapons, but, no armor in order to unlock their, their sacred arc. And you have it where each of them managed to do so. You have it where each of them unlocked their, their special ability. And in doing so, they were able to break free from this dimension that they were in, this dreamlike world that they were in. And upon doing so, you have it where, old girl, she manages to get free as well. And once she gets free, she starts to head in the directions of our troopers because they were making fun of her. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of like a funny goof or whatever. So she was heading to them. And in the process, she's like, yo, my body feels heavy. And you see right here, that she's been marked, just like your boy Oda. And when I saw this scene right here, I was like, oh damn, she's been poisoned. They're going to find a way to get rid of the poison. They're going to do something to take away the poison. They probably developed something after Oda got taken out so that this won't happen again. So that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking in my mind. But as the episode goes on and she's getting closer and closer to him, you have it where they're preparing to fight her. You know what I'm saying? Thinking that she's some type of monster. And she's like, yo, why are you guys acting like this? Not realizing that she transformed into this, you know what I'm saying, into this demon puppet. And like, yo, her realizing that she's a monster, damn. You know what I'm saying? Her saying like, you gotta be kidding me. Like this is something hard. Like, yo, I wasn't expecting this episode to go like this. I wasn't expecting this to go down. And you have a situation where none of the troopers are able to actually fight her because how much they care about her, how much of a teammate that they consider her. And you have it where, Guy is the only one saying like, man, she's no longer the person we know. There's no way to change her back. We're gonna have to finish her off. And you got it where they can't accept it. They don't want to do this, and I can't blame them. Like, yo, she's been with them since they became troopers. You know what I'm saying? Like, shoot, especially what's his name? Shinon. He's been, you know what I'm saying? He knew her for a long time because he was a part of the second Samurai Trooper group. So I know it's hard for him. And then I would say probably second harder for Shion. I mean, not Shion, but second harder for Musa, because he been with the group for quite a while as well. So the fact that they're forced to face off against her, man, this was tough right here. This was tough. Like even Guy's a little hesitant, but he's still saying like, yo, we got to take her down, you know. But I love that they gave him another transformation sequence. It was pretty dope if you ask me. They actually showed everybody use their sacred art sequence together, but this right here was just, I don't know. I just love the fact that he used the fire to form the helmet. I just think that's a dope ass thing to do. But you have it where they all put on their armor to face off against it, but at the same time they still can't do it. And then you have this moment right here where she's pretty much covering her chest. And if you think about the episode where she was singing to him, that's the same thing she did. You have it where she's trying to fight. You know what I'm saying? She lost herself, but she was able to get herself back, and she's trying to fight against the demon inside her. She's trying to keep that demon, that monster, from actually hurting them. And you have it where this happens. It causes them all to like witness that she's still in there. She's still in there fighting on their behalf. And that's what made this episode just like, damn, it's crazy. And then you just have this goated moment where, because of this, because how all of them feel about her, and like how, she said to them, like, I would give my life for you guys. She said that in a flashback. And you have it where all of them accept the fate that has been dealt to them. And because of that, they all use their sacred art and they all give up their power. Like, they all do different stances. I think this was dope. And in the process of doing that, you have it where the armor of Inferno is formed. It's crazy because the way it came on him, I can't say it's better than Ryu of Wildfire, because, you know what I'm saying, when he did it, because I love the fact that the flames was on him and it's kind of like he was on fire and he was stepping back and the armor was coming on him, if you ask me. But I still thought this was pretty dope, just seeing the armor right here. And it's crazy because it doesn't even look white. It looks silver, if you ask me. Or maybe it's just the light. But then the all black undersuit, I always like that about, the original Ronin Warriors when he got the armor of Inferno. I'm like, yo, damn, that shit just look cold with the solid black underpiece as opposed to the white and whatever color they may be. And this right here with the green flames, it looks good. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know if it can hit like the first one. This shit was... Now, right there, that shit look goated. That shit look goated right there. I'm not a fan of the cape. I don't like the cape. That's just me. You guys can let me know down below, how do y'all feel about the cape. I'm not the biggest fan of it. But, yo, this was nice right here. And then he's just standing there. Now, see, that's where they messed it up, because at first it started off, it looked like regular animation, and then it just ends with the CGI. And like I said, I feel like that really takes away from it, if you ask me. But you have it where that's where the episode ends, with him just pretty much coming to terms with what he has to do, who he has to finish off, his comrade. And, oh, man, it was like, matter of fact, let me see if I can get a close-up of this right here. Let me see, because he does the little screen, because what he has to, I love this panel right here. I love this right here. This looks so damn cold. But I don't know, man. This episode, I wasn't expecting it, man. But let me know your thoughts down below, man. If you like the video, thumb it up. Please subscribe. We got the Armor of Inferno. I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. Peace. Yo, we gotta talk about this episode. Hey, he might be worse than the original Topa from the original series because this dude takes everybody down. Oh, we gotta talk about it.
Armor of Strata!
Man, hey, every time I think they raise the bar on how dark this series can get, they do something to take it even further. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I know old girl got taken over in the last episode, but a part of me still thought like, nah, she'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? He's going to find a way to save her. That's what I thought. I thought Guy would be able to save her, and that's not the case, man. That's not the case in this episode. She really got taken out. She really got taken out. I did not see that happening. I don't know why. Like I said, deep down, I just thought something would happen. Maybe the armor would purify her. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, he'll cut her from out the middle of this big demon's chest. I don't know what I was thinking would happen, but I didn't think it would turn out like this. And then just this panel right here, this scene right here, where you got all of the troopers looking as Guy's about to cut her down. And look at all of their faces. Look at how they were able to capture the sadness in each of them. You know, they don't want to do this, but they have no other choice. I was sitting there like, nah, it's no way. It's no way he's about to finish her off. And then Guy starts seeing all the flashbacks of her that him and his squad had with her. I'm sitting there like, hold on. They doing flashbacks? She might really die. Like, that's how I was feeling. And then it was just, oh man, it was hard to see, man. It was hard to watch. You got him, you know what I'm saying, pretty much setting his swords ablaze, and he does this new flash attack on her, and it's just like, damn. And what made it hit even harder, like this was hard enough to watch, but what made it even harder is this scene right here. Like after he strikes her, you see the flames kind of like open up. She smiles right here in the middle of the attack that Guy just sent in her direction. And you got it where she turns around and walks off like, you guys got it. You guys got it from here. Thank you. Like that shit right. Hey, yo, hey, boy, getting a little emotional just talking about it right now. I did not expect it to go down like this. I did not see this coming. Like, I'm kind of mad at Mia because I feel like some of this is her fault because she was doing all this stuff to save Ryu, not thinking like, yo, this guy's a demon. He's not going to have your best interest at heart. But you got it where, you know, they take her out. All of the troopers are sitting here. They're trying to gather their thoughts. They feel sad. They're a little exhausted for using the white armor for the very first time. You got it where they're going upstairs, you know, try to face off against, you know, the demon lord, the demon king. And then while that's going on, you got some of the other warlords. They're down here talking. And it seems as if they kind of vibing with the troopers. Like they understand where the troopers are coming from because they're not giving up on one another. And I feel like we might have a situation similar to part one where they might actually help out in this final battle. But anyway, you got it where the troopers make their way up. Of course, they're suffering right now. They're all hurt because of what happened. You know, the friend that they lost. You have it where they're all trying to find their own different ways of coping. You see that guy himself saying like, yo, this hurts. This hurts more than I thought it would. Like, you know, he built a bond with her and it hurts him to see her be taken out, but they had no choice. And then you have it where they actually make it to make it to Rampa's throne, and they go to take him on, and you have it where he shows them, he's trying to put them into despair. He shows them people all around Tokyo, and he's using his ability to actually turn them into demons. And you have it where everyone, no one's safe, and you have it where our heroes are wondering, how is he able to do this if if he never made contact with them. And that's when they show a little glimpse of the original, Topa from the original series long ago, when he did his moves and he was defeated by the Ronin warriors. He spread his ability throughout Tokyo. And I love this part right here, because you get to see him actually, you get to see a little flashback scene of him being taken out right here. And as he's being taken out, he's dispersing his demon element among the land. So now everyone who's within Tokyo can be turned into a monster. And this was dark as hell. Like I said, this series just gets darker and darker, but you have moments where, like this part right here where it was a mother and daughter, a mother and child, her child, I don't know, I think it was a son. And they're pretty much saying like they don't want to die, and next thing you know, they turn into monsters. Like all of Tokyo is turned into monsters. You even have it right here where the guy that's in charge of the whole organization, he's in front of, he's in front of, the demons, the people that turned into demons in front of him. And he's like, yo, I guess this is just how I go out. He turns into a demon. This episode was really dark. It felt like there were no winners. Despite everything the troopers have done, it just really felt like there was no hope and there was no winner. The only thing I can say that was good about this episode, the episode was good and good in all. Very good. But far as our heroes, the only good thing that I see is that your boy Guy, his feelings are open, because he's thinking to himself right now, like, yo, I don't even know these people. Why is my heart aching seeing them being turned into puppets? And then you have it where they come out and play music, which is crazy. But next thing you know, they all combine their armors to form the white armor once again. And you have it where Guy is putting it on. He's about to face off against his father. He's fighting against his father. They're clashing right now. And in this moment, you have it where Ryu is able to gain control of the body. After Guy's father steals the armor, the white armor, you have it where they're facing off, where Ryu of Wildfire actually takes over the body. He stops him from fighting. He says like, yo, kill me now, take me out. And you see it right here. The white armor do look dope, but I do get what some people saying, like, yo, it looks like a Gundam. I feel like it looks more so like a Gundam because of the cape. If you take the cape away, it wouldn't look like a Gundam. That's just how I feel about it, but I could be wrong. But you have this moment right here about to happen where Ryu of Wildfire takes over, and then Guy strikes him. This part right here, beautiful. This part right here was beautiful, but you have it where the Demon Lord as well as Ryu are separated from each other. The episode ends with both of them standing up side by side, and it seems as if, they're about to work together to take down the Demon Lord. Now, I wonder if we're going to have a situation where Ryu actually calls his original armor in the next episode, and then you have Guy in his armor of Inferno. I'm very curious. But once the Demon Lord comes back and take over the armor, you see that he kind of makes it turn into like the dark armor. It kind of looks like purple, but he makes it into a darker version of what it is, and he's preparing to face off against his son as well as Ryu of Wildfire and the other troopers. But this is how the episode ends. But like I said, man, I wasn't expecting this to go down. But let me know y'all thoughts down below, and I'll catch y'all in the next one, man. Peace. I know damn well they didn't just do this in this episode. I know damn well they ain't just do this. Hey, we got to talk about the latest episode right now.
Wildfire!
Yo, why did they do this to us? Why did they do this to us? This all it took right here. Like, you didn't even have to show the rest of the episode. This moment right here was all I needed. I was like, yo, damn. They really pulling all the stops for this episode, man. This was a crazy episode, but not just with us getting the return of the original Ronin warriors, but we have God do some amazing stuff at the end of this episode as well, which really shocked and surprised me. Did not see that coming. But this scene right here, you got him putting on and it's crazy to me. Growing up, don't get me wrong, I always loved the armors. I thought the armors were amazing. But I was a huge fan of the regular suits, like this, like, I guess, pre-suit that they wear, like the little armor under the armor. I always thought this shit looked so damn clean. And even when I had the toys growing up, it would take a lot. Like when I'm, making my story or whatever, it took a lot for me to be like, okay, they've taken enough damage. Now we put on the armor. Like, because I just rocked with this uniform so dope. Granted, I wasn't a fan of how they made the toys with the like springs inside the arms and legs. I wasn't a big fan of that. But other than that, the toys were amazing. But this scene right here where you got him putting on the armor of Wildfire, doing it the old school way. You talking about taking a boy back to his childhood. I watched this shit while I was on my lunch break, man. I ain't even want to go back into work. I was like, yo, I'm about to go home and make the video now. But look, man, I'm trying to save my sick time for, a rainy day. But that's how I was feeling watching this scene right here. It was just so damn epic. They did it justice, man. I forgot how much I love the original transformations compared to the new ones, like the rose petals and then just the steel frames they do. Like, and it's crazy because some people nowadays, how spoiled people are with anime, with because of JJK and Demon Slayer and all of that real high quality stuff. People would bitch about steel frames, but they did it in a way where it was just badass. Even back then, rewatching it now, it's just badass with the steel frames. Like, look at this. Like, they don't kill the steel frames, yo. Like, that shit just looks so damn goated, yo. And the fact that you can't see his eyes, man, yo. Damn. I'm sorry. The original red armor of Wildfire, I think is way better than the version Guy has. Don't get me wrong, Guy version is dope, but I don't know. This one doesn't look bulky. That's my biggest complaint about the new armors. They look a little bulky and clunky, and I feel like that's more so because of the CGI, not necessarily the armor itself. And then I just like the way he got both his swords in the same direction on his back, as opposed to Guy. He got one sword up here and the other handle was down on his back, which is, to me is crazy. But I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of salty that they really kept the symbols away. If you look right here, we know Guy have them now on his armor, but the fact that wasn't a part of the actual armor design, I'm a little salty about that it was something that was removable. It kind of take away, because you mean to tell me at some point he found those pieces and placed them on his armor? Or is it just it was always a part of his armor, but it was just something he could detach? Very curious about that. But anyway, man, this moment right here, seeing Ryu and Wildfire facing off against, the main demon lord, because the other Ronin warriors can't use their armors because he's wearing it in this, this ancient version or this new version of the armor of Inferno. But this was godlike, man. This was nice. And then I love the fact that you see that the warlords, they're not even really bad. They're like, yo, once they see what the demon lord is doing, they're like, yo, look, all we gotta do is stall them. We ain't really gotta fight these guys. They're starting to realize like the person they're working for isn't as, isn't as noble as a leader as they thought. And then we just get this battle right here where Ryu is facing off against the demon lord. And then you have it where Ryu himself, he's exhausted. His body, been taken over for years. He doesn't have the strength that he wants. He's older. And, oh man, it's crazy because I just noticed that right there. And on the toys, and if I remember in the original anime, the blades on his arm were white. It looked like they made them red in this one. My bad. Maybe I'm just trying to find something to nitpick at. But you have it where you see the original Ronin warriors. You got it where White Blaze actually runs to him and he frees them. You see them right there. They were captured. White Blaze comes and breaks. I love that they making White Blaze more relevant. Like he had his moments in the original series, but there were times where I felt like he was just there to be there. And this time he kind of feels relevant. He's the one who he shattered this barrier, and he was able, because of him, the other warriors were able to get free. Not only that, you also have the little boy, I can't even think of his name right now, said the chant as well to help. But just having this right here, this little shot right here with the original samurai troopers, I'm gonna call them Ronin warriors. It's just so amazing. And honestly, sitting here looking at it, I gotta say, I was never and I told you guys before, if you watch my other videos, I was never the biggest fan of Side the Torrent. But his armor looked kind of dope, man. Like, I guess I was too young to really appreciate it. Maybe it was the baby blue and I was young and, childish. Maybe that's why. But his armor kind of looked dope. It's the I guess it looked like his armor would have the most mobility compared to everybody else. Maybe his and Kento of Hard Rock. So yeah, I remember all the names. Kento of Hard Rock. It's crazy because watching this series, there were different moments where different characters were my favorite character. There was a moment where Kento of Hard Rock was my favorite. Except for Side of the Torrent. He was never my favorite back in the day, but re-looking at it, his armor looks pretty dope, man. It looks better than I remember. And then he has that dagger on his back. I don't think he's ever used that dagger, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he has. Then you got Sage of the Halo. I always thought his armor was dope as well. My brother loved Sage just because in the very first episode of Ronin, the original Ronin Warriors, when everyone was showing up, when he showed up, the man was falling upside down. And maybe because we were so young, that was the first time we ever seen some cold shit like that. The man was falling upside down, straight to the ground, talking trash to the enemy, and we was just like, yo, damn, that was a bad entry. And then we got what was it, Rowan of the Strata. I thought he was amazing too, because I want to say this is one of the first series where I seen a character shoot one arrow in the air and then it just turned to a whole spray, a whole waterfall of arrows falling back down to the ground. So just seeing this right here was just amazing as hell. It was a nice callback. I like the way they handled it. But you have it where these guys, they're actually tired as well because of what they went through, because of them being held captive for 5 years. Their body is suffering from being fatigued, worn out, just trying to get back up to moving strength. The word escapes me that I'm thinking for, but a lot of people that have comas go through it. But we have this moment right here where they say like, yo, you're gonna have to do it, Ryu, and they give him, oh my gosh, the original armor of Inferno. I was not expecting this. Episode was just straight gas from start to finish, man. And I was sitting here like, yo, damn, they're gonna have the original warriors finish off the main enemy? That's unexpected, but I don't mind it. And you have this happening. Oh man, when the flame hit, look at the flame hit this man. They did it justice, bringing it into 2026. Damn. But you got it where the flames come on them, and they kept the exact animation, but they made it modern day, which just, I don't know, man. It just really did something, man. I love the fact that they didn't try to make it different. They didn't try to alter it. They kept it the same, but just gave it, 2026 animation. Again, this is CGI, but for the most part, I thought this was clean as hell. Then you even have him with the original, the swords he got for his armor. And if you pay attention to the original warriors, you can see that they're a lot older now. But if you look at Sage of Halo, look at him. Like, yo, his hair is all the way down his back. He must got like some type of ponytail if you look right here. Side the Torrent, he just looks different. Then we got it where your boy Rowan, he got the little peach fuzz on the chin. And then Kento is wearing like a do-rag. I don't know. They all look different, but they all look the same, But then you got it where they're telling Ryu to finish him off for me. And then you actually got it where White Blaze turns into Black Blaze. And then he got the swords on top of the lion. Oh my God. I was about to say lion, but tiger. Oh my gosh. This shit was so clean, man. I wish he would have got more involved. They just showed him bring the swords to Ryu. That's about it. But this was just so damn. Man, let me tell you something, yo. This episode was beautiful, but you got them facing off against one another. Ryu facing off against the Demon Lord. They're going blow for blow. Of course, the Demon Lord ends up getting beat up, defeating, and I thought that was a dope moment. You have it where a guy actually tosses him the sword, which allows Ryu to get the finishing blow. But then it seems as if, he comes back. He steals the bodies of one of the other warlords, use him as a puppet, as well as he absorbed all the energy, negative energy from the people throughout Tokyo to go into this like super state where he says he's even stronger than he was when he faced off against Ryu of Wildfire. And you got it where these guys don't stand a chance against facing him. They're pretty much losing. But then you got this sequence where they all do their sacred art. They all put their armor on at the same time. You have it with the Ancient One, gets involved as well, telling them that they can beat, they can beat the Demon Lord. All great moments. They kind of do this segue where it's like 5 different screens showing it from every, samurai trooper perspective. And I thought that was pretty dope how they did it. All of them transform at the same time. And then you have it where they face off against, the Demon Lord. A guy facing off against his father. They all do their sacred arts. And then you have it where it turns out Guy was actually quite smart. He allowed himself to be taken over from his father and by his father. And you have it where in this episode, he actually asks Ryu of Wildfire, how was he able to escape and, gain control over his body? Ryu tells him, and because of that, he uses that technique to gain control over his body. And then you have it where he tells his friends to finish him off, pretty much ensuring them that he will survive. It will only kill his father. And you have it where they actually do that. They actually strike him down. And once they do that, you find out that he was actually lying. The only person who actually knew that it was a lie was Shin, and he chose not to say anything. Now, I'm not going to lie. Part of me is upset that Shin didn't say anything, but another part gets where he's coming from. He's seen the resolve within Guy, so he chose not to interfere. And it was just, I don't know, I didn't expect that to happen. It was brutal. And you have it where Guy falls to the demon world, and he says, like, with him falling to the demon world, everything to be restored back to normal. He said this is his way to repay, for all the lives that he took when he first came to Earth. And I ain't gonna lie, it was hard to see. The only thing that I would have liked to learn more about Guy, like who was his mother, what was his connection. You have it where the Ancient Ones go to speak, and the Ancient Ones actually say that because of what Guy did, the stage is set for the next phase, which we kind of are unaware what that is. I imagine we'll find out in season 2. But in this whole reveal, we also see an unexpected person with the Ancient One. And I wonder if this person knew, was aware of everything that was going on, or that was going to take place from the very beginning. And that person I'm speaking of is your boy Oda. They show Oda. Let me see if I can find him in this episode. I can't remember if it was at the end or beginning. I think it was at the end, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. You have it where he speaks. They show him with the Ancient One at the end. And then that's how the episode ends. Let me see. How could this not be? That you got it where the other troopers are pretty much saying they think Guy is still alive, which they show him as a statue. If he is alive, I wonder how that could be. What will his role play? Will he become the next Ancient One? And this doesn't look like old girl. I mean, it could be her, but this doesn't look like the girl who became the Ancient One at the end of the original series. If it is her, let me know. It just doesn't look like her. And then again, it might just be because it's been some time. You guys can let me know. But while she's having her conversation saying he set the foundation for the new land, they actually show your boy, Oda right here. And it looks like he's wearing some type of new armor. Well, it might not even be armor, but it looks like as if he became part of the Ancient Ones. And maybe this is his calling as well. Maybe we'll see more of him in the future. I'm not exactly sure. But for a final episode or season finale, this was pretty damn good if you ask me. But let me know your thoughts on this one down below. And what was your favorite part? I'm very curious to hear it. I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. Peace.